Anybody out there seeing this, go ahead and share it. We're gonna talk some good stuff. We got a dope first special guest coming in for segment 2. We'll talk about that at the top of the conversation. But yeah, everybody out there, go ahead and share this. We're gonna give it a couple minutes, and then we'll get an official start going to the May 19th. We outside live cast. How y'all doing this morning, by the way? Illness.
Hey, I'm breathing, bro. I'm breathing. You know what it is. It was a rough day yesterday for me, but you know what I'm saying. Shit folds the way it folds. You always get back at it. You know what I'm saying. Don't really got a choice. But I'm
just
good.
been busy with music and my daughter.
There you go.
Oh well, the music side of it is good. That part, man.
Yeah, 50-50. That's all I've been doing. Looking after my daughter and music.
That's what it's all about with all of us, man.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, no, that's the biggest thing. Just yesterday was just a tough day for me. Woke up, was an uneasy morning, had to go to work, and everything just seemed off. And in my line of work, when everything is off, it reflects on your service. And you know, when you're in that life of service, you know what I'm saying, and me
Definitely.
being me,
You got to be happy all the time.
yeah. So it fucked my day up. And then after work, I just was off. I don't think I ate my first meal till about 10 o'clock last night.
Damn.
Bro, sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. Well, hey, we're gonna start the day off right for you. We're gonna bounce you back from that Saturday that you had. We're gonna make it a beautiful Sunday because it's not the end of the week. Face, what did we talk about yesterday? It's not the end of the week. It's the what?
You know what it is. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we're all on. Y'all just want to get to it. People can start sharing. It's 10:01. We'll give it like another minute before we start the official show. We can just sit here and shoot the shit. How's the weather looking y'all's way today?
Oh, love.
Honestly, it's nice out here.
Same here in Devon.
And in Cali, we always have overcast. Always, it's always overcast. It's always overcast.
Humid,
but
I imagine.
Yeah. No, not humid. No. Hell no, nigga. I'm not 20 minutes from the beach. I'm not 20 this long beach, nigga. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to stop guessing, nigga. Stop believing what you see on TV.
Yo, you want to hear a funny story? Weather's good here, by the way. Weather's good. So I'm getting in last night, and we're like 25 minutes outside of 30 minutes outside of supposed to be landing, right? And yo, like fucking the pilot comes on. He's like, yo, he's like, we got some microbursts going on. We got. I'm bringing him back. And the pilot was like, yo, he's like, we got some microbursts, so we're gonna just like do some race car laps around, in the air and whatnot. He's like, then like 2 minutes later he comes back, he's like, oh no, we're good, we're gonna be able to, we're gonna be late, but now we're gonna be on time. And then like 30 seconds later he's like, yo, the airport is shut down. How the fuck are you gonna drop us off if the airport is shut down? But then literally like 2 minutes later, he's like, no, we're all good again. And we're going to still be early. So it was weird. Like I didn't know where I was going to be landing there for a minute, but we didn't have any weather. We had a little like bumpiness kind of getting into Denver, but nothing like crazy. I just closed my eyes and just was like, just tell me when we land. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's what I would do.
Like,
hey, I'm glad you made it there safely. Cause
exactly.
That'd be the weird part sometimes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, that'd be the weird part.
Yes, and it was perfect. Our boy Van chauffeured me. He chauffeured me last night. He's hosting me this next 3 days, and he's gonna be our special guest going on today. So we're very excited, and I'm personally very thankful for Van and his family hosting me up for the last night, and then the next couple days as well. But yeah, we're like 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Y'all want to go ahead and get this thing going?
Oh yeah,
cool.
Let's get it popping.
All right. So for everybody joining us for the first or even second or maybe the third time, if you caught me and the Alien a couple weeks back when we first started this, it's the We Outside live cast. And, I am your host. These are my two co-hosts right here. We got Illness and Discreet, a.k.a. the Alien. Illness, a.k.a. Mr. Run It Back. And I'm the wondrous one, Wondr Mic, hosting y'all today. So as we always do after our introductions for anybody that's getting to know us for the first time, Ailness, you want to go ahead and let them know what we are all about here at the We Outside Livecast, my brother.
We are outside. If you don't notice, literally, we outside. Podcast all hip hop, all the time. Views, opinions. Don't take it personal. It's just our thoughts. We'll mix a little sports in there. Always some laughs. Always a good time. And if you don't know, it's always big fours, big fours, big
Forever
fours.
fresh.
Shout out Forever Fresh, my Cody, Dope Fresh to Don, Imperial Rail, Lamondo, Double R, The Alien, and everybody else connected with the squadron. There's big things coming. I got to throw this plug in real quick. If you haven't already, you need to shop with Forever Fresh and get your new shirt. You know what I'm saying? All disrespect intended. If you haven't got it, get it now. Big up to squad.
Yes,
Definitely.
shout out Forever Fresh Discreet. I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna kick it out to you, bro. What are we talking about? Hip hop history, and for those of y'all, real quick, you know, our segments always start off with hip hop history. We're gonna do some hot takes. Today we're gonna be talking about who is the most successful independent hip hop artist. Some other things might come from that. Segment 2, we're gonna bring in Van Verhoeven representing BNormous Productions. I'm telling you right now, y'all need to listen. When Van talks today, y'all need to listen because you are gonna get one hell of an education on how this thing really works and putting music together and production and mixing. When I was talking to Van this week, I told him we could probably have like a special 6 episode of him just talking about different things. So for real, the knowledge drop that is happening today with guest number 1 is going to be mind-blowing. So pay the fuck attention. So
Definitely.
I digress. Mr. Discreet, a.k.a. the Alien, you want to take us through this
You ready?
hip-hop history? There's a lot.
Right.
So I'm ready. I've been waiting all week for this, bro.
I just want to tell you before he starts, you know what I'm saying? I am hip-hop, nigga. I was born into it. I didn't have to listen. No disrespect. All disrespect.
No. Right, May 12th, right? May 12th, 1998.
I know what's coming.
DMX, right? DMX dropped his debut album. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and we're going to be talking about that. Right, May 13th.
In the comment section if you're feeling that DMX.
I've been listening to it. I've been listening to it this week. It's a crazy album. Right, May 13th, 1968, PMD of EPMD was born. Same date, 1977, Pusha T was born. May 14th, 2002, Cameron released his 3rd solo album, Come Home With Me. 1991, on May 14th, KMD released debut album, Mr. Hood. Exactly the same day, same year, 1991, May 14th, De La Soul released their 2nd album, De La Soul Is Dead. May 15th, 1961, Melly Mel was born. 2012, on May 15th, Killer Mike released his 5th album.
What's up, Emerson?
Rap Music. May 15th, 1968, Run DMC released their 3rd album in 1986. Sorry, I said that wrong. 1986. Raising Hell. May 16th, 1972, Special Ed was born. And 17 years later, on his birthday, he released his 1st album, Youngest in Charge, 17 years old. And 1990, on May 16th, Ice Cube released his debut album, America's Most Wanted.
Oh, what year was that again? What year was that again?
1990.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I knew that.
May 16th. But May 17th, 2011, Killer Mike released his 4th album, Pledge. And finally, May 18th, 2010, Nas and Damian Marley, and Nas and Damian Marley released an album called Distant Relatives, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know that.
But I bet you're going to listen to that today, if you haven't already listened to it.
I'm going to get round to it. I'm definitely, to be honest, this week, the last couple of days, I've been listening a lot of America's America's Most Wanted,
Yeah.
and DMX's album. And do you know what? Out of them two, I come to the decision that DMX's album's better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that
Talk about
all we
it.
got for hip hop history? Illness,
Yes, that is it. That's it.
Before we throw it over to Illness, anybody in the comments, everything that we talk about, we want to hear your comments too. This is real hip hop. This is live. This is factual, opinionated. Let us know your thoughts. Anything that we're talking about.
That was May
here.
12th to May 18th.
All right, so
in the last,
through yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that stand out for me. But before I give my thoughts, Illness, let's go ahead and throw it out to the silver bag. Just initial thoughts. What ones jump out from his hip hop history this week for you?
Well, the main ones that jumped out to me is definitely DMX, Ice Cube, and you don't have to say America, cause it's just America.
I know. It's just
America's
Most Wanted. Yeah.
That's how they pronounce it in England.
Yeah. Oh. Notice I said Nas at first. Not Nas.
No. Oh, I laughed. Trust me, I laughed.
Do you want to talk about Tupac?
Oh,
talk about Tupac. Shut up, right? Carry on. Let's talk.
All right, hip hop history. What you got for us on your thoughts?
So it would be the DMX. It would be the America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube, and it would be probably Special Ed. I'll start with what came first for me. So what came first for me was definitely Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted. America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube, and WA was very big for me growing up on the West Coast. Ice Cube was my introduction to me knowing that I wanted to be a lyricist. Ice Cube was a gangster rap artist that had bars. That's why I would say I respectfully disagree with you when it comes to DMX's album to Ice Cube's first album, even though, and I'm going to get to that. Just give me a second.
I liked more tracks on DMX's album.
Oh yeah.
I just liked more.
Don't worry.
That's how I judged it.
Listen, we outside. It's opinions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you the reason why I say that in a minute. Then after Ice Cube became Special Ed. Special Ed, I really enjoyed him when he first came out because his style was different. And he had a song called I Got It Made. I got it made. Everything I want, I got from cotton to suede. I wanted leg, I didn't beg, I just got laid. My hair was growing too long, so I got me a fade. And when my dishes got dirty, I got Cascade. I'm wise because I rise to the top of my grade. Won't peace on earth, so to God I praise. Kids across town thought I was afraid they can't harm me. I got an army, a brigade. I'm not a waiter, but if you don't remember that one? My way to make potato alligator souffle. Okay. Well,
it's a little bit before my time. But, yeah.
Well, funny story. I was incarcerated as a young kid, and when Special Ed came out, I was in the system. My mom had given me up, so I was in the system, and I literally remember that because in a magazine it had his whole verse written down. You know what I'm saying? And I was already on my quest to be a lyricist, so I enjoyed that. And fun fact, I got to meet Special Ed in Rhode Island at a club. At a club across the street from the mall. He's not a nice guy. I'm just going to leave it like that. I respect him, but he's not a nice guy. Mikey knows about that because I talked to him about it after it happened. Because we've known each other. Now, lastly, DMX is Dark and As Hell is hot, bro. I can honestly tell you, I was living in California when it came out. Me and all my boys, DBX, shout out the squad, we banged that CD till it broke. I'm an avid pit bull lover. I raise pit bulls. I love those dogs. So when I heard a guy barking on an album, I thought he was talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Because me and my squad, you know what I'm saying? We've dogs, like, you know what I'm saying? So when I heard that, and then to hear his music compared to mostly everything that came out the East Coast, I was like, what is, and I'm a Tupac fan, so I was like, what is this? So I give nothing but credit to that man, because them first two albums, not just It's Dark and As Hell is Hot, I can tell you we tried to break the CD. And the reason why, that's why I said I take Cube over DMX because of how I came into the music game. But DMX's It's Dark and Hell is Hot is probably, if not one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time, because there's no skips in it. And that's all I got to say on that. Shout out hip hop history. Shout out hip hop.
Always shout out to hip hop history. I'm kind of with you. Like, for me, I mean, DMX very much stands out. Cube stands out as far as like the projects that we're talking about. Shout out to everybody that was born. I mean,
what up, Van?
Discreet. know, I heard you say, I heard you say Killer
Biggie.
Mike. Shout out to Killer Mike for the Grammys that he won.
He It seems to like releasing albums in May around this time.
Yeah.
So,
shout out to Killer Mike, from the
2011 and 12 is fourth and fifth albums.
And it's funny, like Illness was saying, like when that Cube record came out, right? Like that's when I started like really getting introduced to hip hop myself. I mean, we're not too far off of age, so it makes sense. But like the first like introduction that I had to rap were two people, thanks to my cousin, Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. What was not for me. Like, shout out to y'all for making your money, and but that was pop music. All right, I came to learn quickly that was pop music. So I started to discover NWA, the Cubes, and everything that came from that late 80s, early 90s gangster rap. And funny enough, as both of you know this, my first debut single being released June 8th officially. Van, right? June 8th. We're gonna be good. June 8th. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a letter. It's a letter to that time period in my life. It's a thank you to that era because it's meant so much to the game and the industry and the culture as a whole. But it really made a lasting impression on me, which is why I chose to make it my first single. So I'm excited about that. And then DMX, like the first time I heard it, I heard some of the singles, and we were shooting laser tag. I was like 16, 17 years old. And there was a place called Milford Rec. Anybody that's watching from Connecticut, if you remember Milford Rec, out there, literally, they banged out this track, like you were saying, the album just spun the whole time. We had like a 3-hour session in there, and literally for 3 hours, this DMX record was just playing from start to finish, and I was hooked. I was hooked, man. So those are my thoughts overall on the hip hop history aspect of it. Yep.
Real quick, for the round table, I'll start with the Alien because he was the last one that spoke.
Yep.
What's your favorite song off of that DMX album? You get two, just two. I'll give you two. And if you don't remember the name, this is the thing. I don't remember the name. Sounds like. Just tell me what the song sounds like.
Oh man. I was listening to him just yesterday.
Shame on you.
You got me right in the fucking.
See, and this is why we tell you.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this.
We don't script this stuff. Like we don't.
No, exactly.
We'll just listen out to each other.
Right. When I done all this out,
look at their faces. Look at their faces. Mike is looking up names right now. He is looking.
I'm looking down at two pieces of fucking paper.
Because I'm not going to be able to pick two. So like, I literally got to sit here and analyze real quick.
Let me answer Illness's question, right? Yesterday, I listened to both of them. I listened to Ice Cube's first and listened to DMX's, right? And I realised I'm more familiar with the singles DMX released off that album, right? So, but they're probably not my favourite ones off the album. But I realised that I liked more the tracks off DMX's album than I did off Ice Cube's album. But the ones I did like on Ice Cube's album,
that's not. Excuse me, sir. Stop sidetracking. You're not answering the question. So put the lighter up. Shut up. Put the lighter up. Lighter. Put the lighter up, Mike. Put the lighter up. See?
It's in my pocket.
See?
Hold on. It's in my pocket.
You effing up. Put the lighter up. Okay. If anyone doesn't know the lighter means, when the lighter comes up, whoever was talking, just stop talking.
Go shut up.
So with that being said. Thank you, Mike. You didn't answer the question, so I'm gonna slide it to Mike. We're gonna give you a little more time to think. Mike, it's on you.
Number one, get at me, dog. Like like we outside.
Get at me, dog.
If there's a problem, a question, or something, like I just love the message and the grittiness of it.
Right.
And then most people would say Rough Riders anthem, but that's just a banger, right? That's a banger, but I'm not gonna include it in my two. I'm gonna go with where the fuck do we just go? Stop being greedy. Like,
woo! Keep it real, partner. Get to the needy. Ribs is touchy. But don't make me wait. Fuck around and I'm gonna bite you. Yeah, like, that one right there.
Again, just the energy and the message again. That's what I always loved about DMX. Like, rest in peace, DMX. Like he didn't get, like, he was who he was. Like, even towards the end, after his career kind of like slowed down from, what, like when he was breaking into cars in Newark, New Jersey, and all that shit. Like he
That
had issues, but you know what?
had a show in Rhode Island and ended up drunk in downtown
But he
and all
accepted it,
messed up
bro.
in
Like
downtown. Yeah.
he was just a real dude. Like I wish he could have dealt with his problems, but not everybody has that strength. But he had so much strength. That's a dude that's gonna live forever, just because his energy is gonna live forever.
Yep.
At the end of the day. So those are my two. Stop being greedy.
I just remember the track.
Oh, excuse me. You're still on. You're still on. Okay, go ahead, Alien. Go ahead, Alien.
Right? You know the track that comes after the skit where he's on the phone to his girlfriend saying, "Who you been fucking?"
Yeah, who you fucking?
Right? You know, yeah, you know the track that follows it. That's one of my favorites.
Hey, take the room to one mama. Meet Joe.
That's one I just remembered.
We go split
that. Just come to my head.
Forget that. Yo, ask me the last time I've heard that album. Ask me the last time I've heard that album.
Last time you heard that album. When was it?
No, I don't know.
It's probably been.
I haven't heard it.
Years.
As we talk about the song, as you talk about the songs and where it's at, it just because
you know exactly.
Listen, I would say my two, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a Dog Nigga What on that album?
Double check. Let me double check.
I'm a mob and still with you. Dog Nigga What? Ride till we die.
For my dogs. Is that for my dogs?
Right before. No, my dogs is this is for my dogs.
So we got Fucking with D, Look Through My Eyes, Let Me Fly, Damien, Stop Being
Let Me Fly, Let Me Fly.
Right there.
There's another one.
Look up. For my dogs. No, wait, no. For my dog. No. For my dogs is this is for my dog. What's the one after that?
You got Rough Riders Anthem. You got Get At Me Dog. X is
Right
Coming. How's Hurry?
Okay.
ATF and I Can Feel It.
Okay.
I really Let Me Fly. I really like.
Niggas done started something. No, so then Dog Nigga What has to be on the second album. I'm telling you, we banged both them albums and they came out so close in relevance because we didn't expect him to drop that second one. But Dog Nigga What is probably my all-time favorite song, and I thought it was on that album, and I'll probably go back later and find it, but that's the one.
Heck just got us. I think Heck got us. Flesh of My Flesh. I think it's on Flesh of My Flesh. Quite possibly.
Okay.
Hey, yo, Heck,
yeah, that one.
Good
look it out, Cody. Okay. But yeah, ATF. Look, ATF was a classic. But what about the one with DMX with DMX? It had Mace at the end of it, and it had the locks on it. Hey, yo, Mace and the locks be taking knots from the outer state spots, and make it hot, get found and vacant. I can honestly say that was probably the hardest verse I've ever heard Mace do. After he became Mace, because when he was Murder Mace, he was a problem. But you know what I mean? But he's like, you don't really want to come try the one guy who stayed dumb high from Blunt Live from Rikers Sing alumni. You know that one?
Yep.
So I would say on that album, ATF was dope because the story that it told. But like you said, the ones you said, Anthem, Get At Me, dog.
Greedy.
Stop being greedy. Those are like those always pop in my head, but ATF I would, and then the one you said too, Alien, that one where
Let Me Fly.
How the games are being played. No, with how the games are being played, how's it going down?
Yeah, that one.
Man,
them two were probably two of my favorites. But the girl one.
What I can say on this, and then we can move past it. He was a poet.
Oh, definitely.
And most of our poets are always battling and fighting demons. And he succumbed to his demons, but he gave us so much good music that relates to so many things, no matter what, that makes it timeless, kind of like Tupac. I'm gonna leave that right there. But yeah, shout out DMX and hip hop history. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you ain't banged that first album, but the first two albums, you need to go bang them albums sometime this week. This week.
100%.
That's all I got to say.
You will not be disappointed. I wasn't yesterday.
Nah, you won't. So that's our hip hop history for the week. Again, anybody, drop your comments in the section for us. Let us know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? What's your opinion? Let us know what you got out there. And that's going to take us right to hot takes.
Get him at the door. Shot him to the door. Pedal to the floor. We always talk about. I feel it in the air. I don't know. But sorry. I know it's tough. It'll be what it is.
We're going to go.
But all I can think about. Okay.
Who let the dog out?
I keep it moving. Hot takes. Like Illness said in the last segment, sometimes when he threw that question out to me, we don't know questions that we're going to throw out to each other. And here's going to be two questions for you guys for hot takes. And we're going to get into the main part of hot takes today as far as who we feel is the best independent hip hop artist of all time. But before we get there, last week last week we told you we're done with the Kendrick and the K beef at this point. He's lost 3 letters. He's disappearing like fucking Michael J. Fox from Back to Michael
News
J. Fox
keep
from Back
coming
to the
out
Future.
from it.
So, but and we're not going to talk about it. But what I do want to talk about, I don't know if either of y'all have seen this. There are rumors going around. We talked about this part of it, that Kendrick is shooting a Not Like Us video remix. But the remix is rumored to have, of course, DJ Mustard's going to be on it. Dr. Dre is going to be on it. Snoop is going to be on it. Roddy Ricch, YG, a bunch of other motherfuckers. Schoolboy Q, I think. So, simple question, 20 seconds or less. How bad do you want to hear this track, if it's happening or not?
See this video? Definitely want to see it.
The video with all those added people, Dre getting
I've heard lots of rumors. I've heard lots of rumors, and yeah, I want to fucking see it happen. Surely it will at some point. I'm patient at the moment.
Illness.
I'm from the West. I'm you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the East Coast, I got love for y'all, you know what I'm saying? But I'm with the West. It reminds me of We're All in the Same Game compilation, you know what I'm saying? So and if you're getting people from the top to the bottom, yeah. If it's a rumor, I hope it's a rumor that comes into fruition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I'm with you. Like,
I think it will.
I sign up for that shit all day, every day. So, second topic, hot take that I'm going to throw both y'all's way, and I'm going to answer in 2. I don't know if anybody has seen it, and I'm very curious for not only y'all's thoughts, but the thoughts in the comments that people are going to have. Have y'all seen the Diddy video beating that poor woman down in the motherfucking hotel?
Not yet.
Hot take.
What?
No. I didn't even know about
that. So the video came out.
What the fuck?
2016, 2017, right? I saw this yesterday for the first time. 2016. So what ended up happening, Cassie, who they were together at the time, she was trying to leave the scenario at the point in the hotel. So this chick, she's got her bag. She's sitting at the elevators trying to leave the hotel, right? Trying to leave the hotel. This motherfucker, he's running down, literally running down
in a towel.
Through the hallways. In a towel. Only. And then he catches up to her he pulled her by her hair, threw her down. He took a swing at her. He kicked her. Later on in the video, he started throwing glass vases, like flower vases at her. And then on top of it, it's allegedly, we always got to do our allegedly, keep ourselves legally sound here. Allegedly, he paid, gotta love the blues. He paid $50,000 to the hotel to get access to that videotape as if it never recorded. So, with all the context of the scenario, both Discreet and Illness, and everybody else watching right now, even if you're watching later, I want your thoughts in the comment. I'll give you my quick thoughts. I don't need 20 seconds. Fuck that dude. If I ever see that motherfucker, I'll straight up run up to him and punch him in his face.
We get in trouble with stupid disclaimers.
Allegedly, if I ever see him. Allegedly, if I ever see you, P. Diddy or Puffy or beating on bitches, whatever you want to call yourself, I'll fucking knock you right in the face, bro. Because we outside, and that's my real hot take. Allegedly.
Okay.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it probably happened. I'm not surprised.
Yes.
When you first said it, like literally, this is the first I've heard of that. I'm like, no way. But 3 seconds later, am I surprised? No. But he's going down at some point, isn't he? It's just a matter of when and what they're actually up to. Why haven't they arrested him yet? I expect there's a lot going on behind the scenes. They're not just after him.
The DA, the DA actually came out.
Yeah,
from LA and
I
said
think there's more to it.
There probably is.
But
look, what you just said, Mike, because 2016, and she's already settled out her case. They can't prosecute for whatever reasons. But if they're releasing this, always know this is America. America, KKK, America. So if you know what America is, if they're letting that go, they have so much more behind the curtain.
Yep.
America's like the Wizard of Oz. You think that he's a wizard till you get behind the curtain. And when you get behind the curtain, it's just some white dude dressed like Colonel Sanders pulling some strings. Allegedly.
True facts. True fact. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
But real talking, I'm done. I stand on what Wondr Mic said. If I've never liked P. Diddy, even when Biggie was alive. You know what I'm saying? I respected Biggie musically. He was nice, but I never liked Puffy. I never liked them shiny suits. I never liked them really bright videos, and where they was always in the tunnel. I never liked none of that. I'm not even gonna hold you. The one song by Puffy that I like, Keisha Cole was on the hook. Like, come on. and I'm gonna leave that right there. I don't think, and this is me, he deserves any place in hip hop except for the fact that you showed us Biggie Smalls and you would shelf all the greats as soon as you got them on your label.
Mm.
And
True
that's
story.
my end
The
quote.
pattern of his career is very strange, let's say, of what happens to people.
Well, he's a narcissistic person. He wants to
Yeah.
control
Do you
everything,
know what I mean?
and
There's a pattern.
that's gonna catch up with anybody. I don't care who it is. So we'll digress off of that. We're
Hey,
gonna get into
hey, shout out Double R. Did he need to be Diddy?
yes,
Yeah.
Rob Reborn. Salute Rob Reborn. I subscribe to that 100%.
Yeah, brilliant.
So last
that one right there.
Yeah.
the main hot take that we're gonna cover right now, and then we're gonna bring in our special guest for the week, who's just sitting over here to my left, across on the other side of the studio, Van Verhoeven, BNormous Productions. Y'all need to tune in for this if you tune in for no other part of this show today. I promise you that much.
Exactly.
So
We always gonna try to bring something to hip hop that's gonna put something on somebody's brain. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say that. It might be a producer,
definitely.
it might be an artist, it might be a
Piece of history.
influencer, it might be some history. No, it's always gonna be some history because there's way too much in hip hop that people just skip over.
Exactly.
But we always gonna try to bring somebody in here that's hopefully, not even hopefully, they're going to put something on your mind. And if you could just spark it like Pac said, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. Continue, sir.
So I'm gonna give everybody the context out there. And Illness, I don't know if we shared the context. I think we might have earlier in the week when we were putting the show together this week. But the context of how this conversation for this week came together. So I was talking. So my wife Chelsea, she loves hip hop like me, but she's metal. She loves everything, right? So she has a very her and my daughter Jupiter. They share a love for a band called Falling in Reverse, which, man, they're pretty dope. Like, from an energetic standpoint, they went to a show a couple months ago and saw them live in Oklahoma City. Like, the video that I saw, like, I'm not like a huge fan of the music overall, but I love energy. I love good music. I love a vibe. And these motherfuckers for a live show put on a vibe. So Chelsea was like, yo, Falling in Reverse just dropped a single called Ronald with Tech Nine. And I was like, yo, I hear this. So I heard it, and then I shot it to Discreet. And Discreet, do you remember what you said after I sent that to you?
Yep.
You listened to it, and then what you gave me for your feedback, and then let's go with your feedback, and then I'll start with you. Who do you feel is the most successful independent artist of all time? And I guess if you want me to go through a list, I'll go through a list as well. But your feedback on that track I sent you, and then top independent artist of all time, and your thoughts.
Well, on the track, yeah, I listened to it. It's not my type of music. I've got to be brutally honest, it's some of the worst sort of noises that go into my ear, if I'm totally brutally honest. But I got to the Tech Nine bit, and Tech Nine's Tech Nine, isn't he? There was parts I thought, yeah, this is the Tech Nine I know. And then he started doing what he does. Whoa, what the fuck did he just do that? Whoa, you could rewind it 4 or 5 times and I probably still wouldn't be able to quite understand what, it's just so cleverly done. So if he's on something, as much as you might not like the sound that's coming out, you can't ignore Tech Nine. But yeah, that was my thoughts on it. But as my underground artist, there's so many. And plus, I've always had this thing of, like, let's say Big L, right? Was he underground?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I thought. I would say for me, he's one of them. But then there's people like Black Thought that I really like. But then there's another one that I really like that's a bit out there of the box, is Blind Fury. These are some of the ones that I can't pick my greatest of all time with this.
Yeah,
but
I can appreciate that.
And Illness, you got to put Illness in there, and all the crew, because they're my favourites at the moment. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones I'm listening to.
Yeah.
But Big L, yeah, I've always been.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. But I've not really got the greatest of all time when it comes to the underground, if you like. But there are a few that stick in my head.
Go Fresh to Don. Go Fresh to Don is a beast.
Oh yeah.
Shout out
Bear.
Man, Head Gotti. Shout out Bear Bentley, because Bear Bentley's a beast. Shout out Chucky Work Clothes, because Chucky Work Clothes is a beast. But But I'm gonna wait till it's my turn because like those are
Yep.
monsters to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
But
I was like, I'm going on the monster side here of the
yeah,
underground. Do you know
those
what
are
I mean?
monsters.
Yeah.
So
Illness,
But
you want to
yeah,
take it next? Discreet, you got
yeah,
any
yeah.
final thoughts? Top independent artist, or we want to kick it over to Illness?
Yeah, like you said, when you first threw it at me, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I've never even give it a thought. Who I would say is the greatest of the underground. But
okay.
there's a few names for you anyway. Illness,
Okay.
over to you, bro.
Um, I would definitely like. I haven't heard that song that they're talking about, but I've listened to Tech Nine.
Mm.
I've I know who Tech Nine is. I have a bias. That's why this guy is smiling. That's why this guy's smiling because
I'm
he
just gonna sip
knows.
my coffee.
Um, I have a bias. I have a bias, but I take nothing away from him. I personally think if you put him and Crooked Eye on a track, Crooked Eye will smoke him. But that's just my opinion. Um,
Mm.
but top independent artist, it would have to be Tech Nine. Tech Nine makes way too much money, and you barely even see him. And
Yeah,
he
that's
has a
true.
whole circuit. He has a whole circuit that he does right here in America, like to where he goes around the country, and that's what he does
He's so
majority of the time
unique.
in his life. He
Yep.
lives on
So
his bus. He
unique.
makes music off his bus. He has other people on his label that were on his label that aren't anymore. And shout out Hobson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And if you don't know who Hobson is, you should get to know him because he's a beast. But he
I didn't mention
yeah,
him, but I was going
he
to.
has yeah he has but trust me, I slept on Hobson for a while. But
I did.
look, I slept on Childish Gambino for a while because if you're still going independent, you have to put
Yeah.
Childish Gambino there, even though he's an actor now. You know what I'm saying?
My
Because
daughter likes him. My daughter
but
likes him. I was well
but
impressed
to
when I
me,
found out.
you know what I'm saying? But to me, yep, shout out Robbie Bourne, uh, what he said, my Crooked Eye line, and what he said about Tech
Yep.
Nine, the songs by Tech Nine.
Yep.
But what I
Van,
will say,
Van dropped Echo in there. There's
okay,
so
yep,
many,
Echo, no,
right?
Echo,
Mm.
look,
Right.
Echo. But if we're saying top to me, consistently all time, I'm going with Tech Nine, even with my biases. You see, that's why I tell you, like, you can hate me all you want. I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can go smoke a blunt afterwards. I don't care, but I'm gonna be
But your
honest. I've
thoughts are
been
your
this way.
thoughts.
I've been this way my whole life. I've been this way my whole life. I'm not gonna change. My opinion is mine. Yours is yours. Yours is yours. We can still get along, even though we may not agree.
Exactly.
But
Innit?
even though I'm biased, I can honestly say that Tech Nine, if you're Tech Nine is like the Drake of the underground right now, except for he a nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wait, just So, but yeah, Tech Nine.
But before I give my
Look, I'm a
thoughts,
lighter myself.
you're a lighter yourself. All right. Put them lighters up. So again, as a reminder for everybody, throw your comments. What are your thoughts? Your opinions. It's okay to have one. Give us who and give us why you think is your most favorite, the most successful, whatever label you want to give it. Top independent hip hop artist of all time. And I'm gonna go with the man from the Bay, Mr. E40.
Hey.
Mr.
Oh,
E40.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but see,
Can't
E40
forget
isn't
him. Let's
underground.
see, there's so
E40 isn't.
many.
He's not
What?
intended. He is,
Well,
but he isn't.
Yeah.
it's
That's why I can get stuck with some artists. You
No,
don't
because
really know
in
where
the
is the
90s,
line.
think about it. In the 90s, going into the early 2000s, he ended up
Mm,
signed.
mm.
correct. But and I get it. So here's the cool thing.
Tech Nine was never signed to anything.
I've got an
But,
E40 album
but,
where he signed for a label.
but, after he was signed, he has been independent the whole time. So
Mm.
yeah,
So tough.
technically,
Well,
yeah, yeah,
well, it's tough
yeah.
because then you could throw I want to say this. I want to say this very tactfully and the right way, right?
Mm.
Take somebody like a Macklemore. Like what's success, right? Because
Yeah,
he's but
he wasn't independent. He was signed to something like Universal or somebody. He was signed to a big label at first.
Pardon
He was
me.
signed when he did the remember the one where he did the one where talking about going and buying stuff from the Goodwill, that song. Da, 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 da,
oh,
da, da. He was
uh, something shop,
yeah.
the thrift shop song. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was signed to a label when that came out.
We'll go back and do our research. We will source this and we will confirm next week if he's
We
independent or
cannot
not. But
confirm nor deny.
yes,
Allegedly.
but allegedly. But if y'all can give it to me, E40. Otherwise, I got to go with like a Tech Nine. You could throw Mac Miller in there. You could throw maybe even an Atmosphere.
There's so
in there.
many.
There are.
Whoa. Him. Atmosphere too. Hey, but because if you think about,
representing Minneapolis, like,
yeah,
come on now.
I don't think E40 is putting up the numbers money wise like Tech is, but Atmosphere, yeah. And I've seen him do a show before. He's nice.
Immortal Technique.
Yep.
And hey yo, we got confirmation from our guest over here. If you look in the comment section, if they are signed to a label or not, that's the line that Van's given us.
That's
so,
what I would say. Yeah, that's what I would say.
There you go. So we have it. Thank you, Van. Appreciate that, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, my guy.
Sir, thank you for that knowledge. So we're about to bring Van in here. All right, we're about to get Van on video. So Van, cue yourself up, bro. Again, we're gonna ask Van some questions. Van, I've known this dude for over 12 years. Discreet and Illness have known him for quite some time now as well, at least since COVID area, because that's when I mean, me and Illness go back 20 plus years, right? But like the three of us here on the screen right now came together around the time of COVID or something like that.
2020.
But you know,
we'll talk about that story another time, Alien.
Yes, we will. But Van is gonna drop a lot of knowledge. I'm gonna bring him in. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. But this dude is a producer. He's a videographer. He's a mixer. He's working on his mastering and is pretty goddamn good at that too. He's a musician. He has gone on tour. Yo, Van, you opened up for like Guns N' Roses back in the day, right? And somebody else. I'll let you tell that story, bro. So when Illness said it, we're gonna bring in people that are gonna bring you some value and worth. We're not trying to waste your time here. And this next guest that I'm about to bring in right now, Van Verhoeven of BNormous Productions, this dude is not gonna waste your time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this dude linked up in here. Send the invite.
Hey, if I wish we had that button where we can put the clapping and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be the clapper.
What's up, dude? Clapping and shit. You know what I'm
saying? Man, this bad delay is a little bit crazy going on here. But I'm like looking through the window at Mike over there, and it's like 3 seconds behind what's going on the screen on my side. I'm like kind of throwing my brain out of whack a little bit here, but
don't look.
Well, yeah, Van, welcome to the show. We appreciate the time that you're taking with us today, man, because we know you are a very, very, very busy dude. But kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, BNormous Productions, your overall history with music in general. Please, the floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been playing music since I was like 16. My mom got me a guitar when I turned 16. It was kind of just like at first, just playing some punk rock, just like messing around with just basic chords and basic stuff. And actually, I'll even rewind it a little further. It all started actually doing video production. Me and my buddy Jason started making music videos when we were really young, like 14. We were just creating stupid music videos like Blink-182 covers and Offspring, just like lip sync videos, like back way before obviously TikTok was like famous doing that kind of shit. We were like making our own mock music videos, and at the time I didn't even know how to play guitar. I didn't know how to do anything musically. I was just didn't even know the lyrics most of the time that we were lip syncing. It was just faking it, trying to put together some kind of video. And eventually it was just like, I want to kind of learn how to play guitar so these videos look more realistic. And it eventually turned into, playing a little bit of guitar. And then we actually made a Blink-182 What's My Age Again video that ended up getting on TRL, back in the day. Just a really small
TRL?
Snippet. Right, he had Carson Daly. But yeah, I got on TRL, and that was like a really cool moment. Cause coming back like senior year, everyone was like, "Dude, I saw you on TRL," and they ended up playing that shit on like the top 25 or top 100 countdown thing before the summer ended, going back into the school year. So that shit was repeated hundreds of times, reruns. So by the time I got back to school, everyone was like, "Dude, I saw you on MTV," and it was like really first brush to fame kind of thing. But flash step forward a little while. I started a band, and we started playing shows and playing kind of around. I played guitar, just rhythm guitar, did a little bit. I was like the singer back then, which I still can't really sing very well, but and then it turned into me stepping away from the mic and just playing rhythm guitar and starting a bigger band. And flash flash forward to like 2012 or 2000, actually more like 2010. My band won Best Band in Denver, where we the radio station out here, KBPI, had this kind of yearly competition where they'd find the best band in Denver. And so we were crowned the best band in Denver, which gave us the opportunity to start opening huge shows like Korn and Papa Roach and Guns N' Roses and 10 Years. And I mean, all these humongous rock bands we got to play with that were coming through Denver. So that got us pretty popular as far as is in Denver, gave us the opportunity to get on radio stations across the country. We were on a Clear Channel station up in North Dakota where we were in regular rotation. I would pull up like the iHeartRadio and be listening to just their radio broadcast, and Papa Roach comes on, and then our song comes on, and then it was like back to Korn, and it was just like, holy crap, like we're on like the real radio, like being in regular rotation, which is a dope ass thing to have happen. And then unfortunately, like that summer we went on tour and went through that town, which was really, really cool because we were pretty much like celebrities. I remember sitting in like a Wendy's, and people were just like, oh my God, that's that Novus Folium band. Like, those guys are in Wendy's right now, type of thing. It was like, felt really, really cool to be kind of like recognized and like popular. And then literally the next show we played, we broke up on tour and shit hit the fan. And we kind of just lost it all, unfortunately.
Can I ask a question, Van, if you don't mind?
What's up, bro? Yeah.
All right. And real quick, and it's about what you just said, and then we can just, keep going. The reason why the breakup happened, if you don't mind me asking, if it's too sensitive, we ain't got to talk about it, but if you don't mind me asking, can you explain to me, all full transparency, what was the reason like the squad decided to separate and depart?
It was inner band conflict, unfortunately. At that time we were getting fairly popular, and unfortunately our lead singer had a pretty big ego. And I mean, granted, you have to have an ego for that position, but
it's always the lead singer.
He got too big of a head and started treating everyone in the band like crap. And it just kind of blew up on tour, being in the same room with each other 24 hours a day for weeks on end. It just kind of started boiling over to the point where just on stage one night, things erupted, and literally like the singer and my lead guitar player literally got into a fight on stage, and like in front of like a bar, in the bar, like on stage. And it was just like, all right, this is over. Like I'm
laughing, but it's probably not funny at the time.
It's funny now for me to look back, but because of that happening, me and the bass player, Davey B, my good friend, he's going to be in the studio next week. He actually lives out in Tennessee now, but we started the Campfire Vendetta. He actually had it going. He literally actually played that same show. Like, we had the whole night, so we had to fill like all the slots. So we're like, our side band, the Campfire Vendetta, would play the set, and then which was funny. And then that was kind of probably part of the conflict, actually, where that kind of turned into the whole thing. But we kind of took that band and didn't take it as serious, and just kind of wanted to play music live still. And so we started that band, and then me and Davey also started BNormous Productions at the same time. Okay. So without Novus Folium breaking up, BNormous Productions probably never would have started.
And
so
where's the lead singer at now?
He's still somewhere here in Colorado. I literally haven't talked to him in like.
I gotta ask because it tickles me in my heart when you try to do good by people and somebody lets I kind of knew the answer. I just didn't know who it was in the group.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be the drummer, sometimes it could be the guitarist or the bass guitarist or the lead singer. But I kind of knew what it was. I wanted to hear it because it's reassurance to me. But I always wish and to want to know who, you know what I'm saying, where they're at now, because people will burn bridges and end up in a worse spot instead of just riding with. It's not grabbing someone's coattails. it's riding with. Like I always tell my boys, and then I'm gonna give it away that like I don't care if I'm on stage with you. I'll be up in the nosebleed somewhere with a sign like that's my boy, that's my dog, because I look at it like it's not a coattail thing. If I can push him up and over, we all live. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because we all live. But I kind of knew it, so I appreciate you for that. And continue. Because
Um,
I'm glad he left. I'm glad he left because you wouldn't be right here in this live with us right now.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I was gonna say, and then I'll throw the next question out to you. I want to say two things to that lead singer. Number one, fuck you. Number two, thank you, because as Van was starting to get into, without Novus Foley and breaking up, Van would not have BNormous Productions as it is today. So Van, if you could, I think it's a perfect segue. Talk about BNormous, and you know, obviously we know when and where you started it. You know, if you could kind of talk about the history and where you are and what you're focusing on in general today with your BNormous production company, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, it after the band broke up, you know, it was kind of like I still love making music, but I was really always more of a producer in mind versus a guitar player. I was, you know, not the best guitar player. I held my own in the band, but you know, I would have never called myself like a shredder or a great guitar player. I held it down well, and I was a team player, and I loved just making music.
Shout
And
out to
so,
team players.
yeah, man. So
Shout out to team players.
eventually, like, it was BNormous that we just decided to kind of change things up and wanted to be kind of a pseudo label, but not do this the way that a traditional label would run, and not take people's money and not be sleazy and bullshit like that. Labels are fucking sleazy and fucking terrible in my opinion for the most part. So I always wanted to kind of be the anti-label where I just help artists succeed and not fucking take all their money and take all their fucking like everything like most labels do. So I wanted to kind of, you know, help bands grow and get to the point where my band originally at one point was, where like I had a lot of knowledge, a lot of things through the years of how growing my band and how to make it successfully in music. I wanted to help other bands do that, so it just kind of started to grow from there. And I grew BNormous up to the point where I started working with other bands, started kind of getting a name for myself, and then 2017 is really when kind of things started to take like grasp, where I started learning mixing like professionally. Beforehand, I was really not a great mixing engineer. I just put out my tracking mixes like as a mix, and that's not mixing. And I started learning from a professional up in Toronto. This guy's name is Jordan Valeria. He has like this online mentorship program where he coaches like up and coming engineers and producers to how to mix and produce records at a professional level. So I started taking his courses, starting getting mentorship from him, and grew up to the point like in 2020 where I was really starting to like get pretty good at it, where I was getting bands in the studio, but still working full time. At the time, I was at Dish Network, which I actually started working with Mike at. He was my boss there, and that's where I met him.
And fast forward 10 years now, he's my boss in the studio. It's funny how that shit works.
Yeah, you know.
How the tables turn.
Right. Eventually, he convinced me to leave Dish, which it was the best choice of my life, because at the point I was just getting done with that place. It was driving me nuts. And he was like, come work for me, fucking flipping houses. And I was like, hell yeah, like, let's do it. And then he gave me the opportunity to like do production too. Like we produced like flipping videos, like how to flip the house. Like we documented everything. And like it actually started even prior to that, like him coming into the studio and recording his first track with Wondr Mic. And like then we worked with Discreet and did a song together. And it was like, it just kind of started to grow musically on the side, on that front. And then I started working with him in doing the real estate stuff. And then when things ended, it sucked. It kind of sucked. He moved out to Oklahoma. But at the same time, that was what really pushed BNormous over the edge. And it was like, that was what kicked me off the cliff. Like, I was always scared to go full-time in the studio because it was like, I need to make an income. I have a family. I have a mortgage. I got to pay bills. Like, how am I going to make my own business be successful enough to be able to pay my bills. And
It's
it was
always-
always just
Yeah.
it was always just so terrifying to like make that leap. And when I was basically pushed off the cliff where I lost my job with Palabra, I was like, well, it was either make a decision. It was either do I like go try to find another job, which I work for someone else. Fuck that. It was like I convinced my wife, who's like, let me just try this for a couple months, see if I can make it work. If it doesn't work out, I'll go find a job. But give me a month or two, couple months to just see if I can make BNormous work and pay the bills. And literally within like a week, I had like 7 projects booked in the studio, and January was fully booked. And it was like, all right, I'm fucking rolling. Like, and then it was like February is booked. March is booked, April is booked, and just every month I just kept rolling, and by the end of the year I made like 55 grand on my own by myself, like doing production and paying the bills and actually making more money than I was making working for Mike. So I was like, you know what, like this is it, like this is my career, this is what I'm meant to do for my life. And now I'm blessed to say like I'm still rolling. Things are busier than I've ever been in my life right now. I'm completely booked through July, and I'm rolling. It's awesome.
That's dope.
So that's kind of the story of BNormous and how things all progressed from starting to film music videos when I was a kid to turning into like being a full-time producer, and then on top of that making music videos for my artists as well when they need them. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to shoot a music video for Mike. It's going to be sick. So also shout out to my homie Jeets Pool. We just dropped a hilarious music video last night. If you're fans of Deadpool, you got to go check out this music video. It's hilarious. Like, you would think this is probably part of the movie or part of like the promotion for the movie, because it's so legit that it's like
someone please send
like
it.
Movie.
Hey, what you have to do, Van? What you have to do is you or Wondr Mic need to drop the link below. Come on, man,
just
stop
gonna
playing,
say that,
bro.
Yep.
Let me do that.
Drop that link right here.
Don't talk about it. Be about it. You know what I mean? Like
3 times already. It is.
Like I said,
just like the movie, it's got me intrigued.
The times with the special guests and everything that we do, we never know. You'll never know who it is until the day of. But we always want to bring guests on here that is going to, like I said in the beginning, spark your brain. And if you didn't listen, he took a leap of faith. He took a leap, and he trusted in himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
He pushed all his
Believed in himself.
He pushed all his chips in front of himself and said, you know what, this is what I'm doing. I saw my brother Mike do the same thing. Dope Fresh to Don. But I salute you for that, because like I said, that needs to be heard. You know what I mean? And links in the description, links in the comment section below. But shout out Van for that, because sometimes people need to hear that. I think I needed to hear that.
Yep.
So I salute you for that, brother.
And before I'm gonna throw it up to the alien here in a quick second. But before I do, anybody that's been joining with us real quick, we're gonna have to bring Illness back on right there. He left off real quick. So essentially, again, everybody, thanks for joining. We saw James Holland hop on, Linda, we had Clyde hop on. Thank you for the support. Give us likes, follows, shares. We're gonna throw it back over to Van as well. But yeah, check out that Jeets Pool thing that Van is gonna go ahead and drop in the link for us as well. It was dope. It was dope. So now it's gonna really become the question and answer portion of this for Van, because we all have a lot of questions. I know Discreet very much.
I've definitely got one.
Angle. So, Discreet, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, brother. What question or questions you got?
When you're in the studio, Van, how much you get done in a day, say?
Typically, most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, I get a whole song tracked in a day. That includes tracking the drums, the guitar, bass, vocals, all the harmonies, like the whole ball of wax. Most of the time I'm attempting to get a full song done. Now, it's a whole different world when we're doing hip hop, because obviously it's just tracking the vocals. That's all, so you can get more songs done in a day when you're doing hip hop. Last time I had Wondr Mic in the studio, we got 3 done in a day, and that was like, I was pretty skeptical that was going to be able to be possible, because I've never done that many songs in a day. It's usually a full song in a day most of the time. It starts with track and drums, and then we get guitars done, and we add the bass, and it's all layers just throughout the whole day. So I literally tracked a song yesterday in the studio with a awesome band, Origami Summer. But I'm constantly working with bands and having them in the studio for a day and getting a full song tracked. In some cases it runs over and we end up having to do another day of just vocals or something like that. But like I said, 95% of the time it's a full day session to get the whole song done. And then on top after that, then it's the mixing process, which takes usually another full day. So it's usually a 2-day process. The tracking's one day, and then the next day is the mixing. And then there's usually revisions that happen where I've got a day of revisions where I'm kind of work on doing some touch-ups and changes,
making sure everything's right,
adjusting all the levels just a little bit for the band for their taste. But yeah, it's usually a day of tracking and a day of mixing for a song.
So what I'm hearing real quick, I'm gonna throw it back to Discreet. So Van, what I'm hearing from you right there is, if you want a good quality track, it's not just gonna happen like that, right? You got to be patient and trust the process. Is that fair to say?
Always, man. Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that because if you know me, Van, you never got to see me in a lab, you know what I'm saying, in a lab setting. Mike can tell you, Mike has spent a lot of studio sessions with me in a session. I was a guy that I always try to get into a studio and convince the engineer to let me book 12 hours. Because, when you start a session with someone you don't know, they always just want to do 3 hours, right? Well, I would always wiggle my way into a 6, and then I wiggle my way into a 12. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, and this is all hip hop. You can ask Mike. I did it with his boy, and I remember his boy was the truth. But I always, even after you're done with everything, with mix downs and everything, I always have that one day where you just come in, we order something to eat, get a bottle, and we do a mix down of everything. You know what I'm saying? And go back over it to listen, because making a song isn't just going in, laying something down, and when the first time you throw it at me, that's the finished product. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you really care about it, it's your baby. Every now and then, it's like when you're cooking. You got to taste it and be like, okay, I'm missing something. You know what I'm saying? And so it does take time. So salute on that, because some people just think they're going to go in, they're going to drop it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the hit.
Done. Yeah,
I'll add something to that, where I quite often, I'll make a track, and then I'll be listening to it over and over again, and then I need to change something. I know deep down that no one else is going to notice, but it's just this slightest little thing that I'm thinking that can be improved. Since I know I've got to do it. But it's probably not going to make much difference to the listener. But it's got to be done. You've got to do it. You've got to go back and do it.
And you find that in the car.
Usually
in the car.
Always.
Everyone always says we have to give it the car check. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
The car test.
If I don't do that car test and I send out a mix, I'm always missing something. And as soon as I hear it in the car, it's like, oh, yep.
That needs to change. That needs to come down. That needs to come up.
I try to tell people sometimes, when you do a track with somebody and you have features with other people, right? I don't know, if you're the person that's writing, you know your flow and how you want to deliver it, right? Everyone else that's listening, they're not going to catch where you slipped your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Or didn't get that breath in where you know you were supposed to. Because when you're at the crib, going over your stuff, you're just going over it. When you get into the lab to start doing it, you have to hit your pockets properly, because if not, you're going to hear those breaths. You're going to hear those slips in the word. You're not pronunciating right. And everyone else is like, nah, you was on right there. And you'd be like, no, because I can hear that. You know what I'm saying? And
you'll pick out a little thing.
And the car check always gets you, though, because in the car, you're just surrounded. Roll the windows up in the car. True statement. True. Everyone says that. I got to listen to it in the car.
Yep.
All right. Discreet, any other additional questions for Van that's jumped up, or you either had in the bag, or that has maybe come up?
No, not really. I mean, I watched a lot of his videos, and, another thing I will say, would you feel that you're always learning?
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you never know everything with music production.
Oh, no,
that's how I feel. Yeah. But I feel like everyone feels like that, don't they?
Yep.
But there's just so much you can do with music. I just love it. I love it. I love making music.
In any direction.
No, you just
Yep.
Just a million places you can go.
Yep.
Let's kick it down to Illness. Illness, any direct questions for Van from what he talked about today? Anything about the mixing and mastering production side of things, from his starts from where he is to where he is today. Anything that you want to ask out there?
I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I'm glad we can finally get a face to face and say what's up. Cause we've chopped a little bit. I've said what's up. I know that you've been,
Right.
I'm saying, you've been down with my brother for a minute, but I've never really got to, face to face and just say, what up though? Thank you. People always put stuff in classifications and boxes, but if they know music all comes together from all one place. It's a sound.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter if it's a rock band, if it's blues, if it's jazz, if it's classical. You know what I'm saying? Music is music, and how it hits your ear may hit another ear different. I just want to say thank you, and I'm glad I could finally get a face-to-face with you. I hope one day I can get you to mix something down for me. I might be in your neck of the woods one day. You know what I'm saying?
Great, man.
I'll slide through. And like I said, I'm a different animal in the booth. I'm not disrespecting nobody. Please don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? But when I come to the lab, it's all business. It's all business. We can play later.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I said,
I've got
it's all
one
business.
more question.
Way, man.
You know what I'm saying?
One more question.
But
Yeah.
but I just
go.
wanted to say, look,
Yep.
I just wanted to say thank you, Van, and salute you. And you definitely put a lot of things on my mind, and I appreciate that, because that's what we need in here and We Outside podcast.
Hell yeah, man.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Appreciate it.
I want to go back
Discreet,
on what
what you
I want to go back on what he said. You said 55 grand a month at one point. Has that been maintained, or is it just kept rising? You don't give me exact numbers, but
No, that was
just
for a
beautiful.
year. That was the
Yeah.
year. Not
Oh, the
a
year,
month.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, specifically, like this past month has been about 6,500 for the month, which was the best month I've ever had in April. And I'm trying to build from there.
It's just all being maintained though.
Exactly, it's maintaining,
Brilliant.
like
That's beautiful.
the winter time slows down, and I was starting to get a little bit stressed out in the beginning of the year. I wasn't getting as many things in the
Naturally
studio,
worrying.
not as much stuff, and it's something that I was just pushing a little harder, trying to find the next projects, and then right now, like, it's all come back together where it's I'm busier than I've ever been, so it kind of comes in waves.
Yeah.
But like I'm always constantly trying to find that next artist and constantly grind. It's a daily grind, like every single day. So trying to always constantly find new projects to work on, like, and it doesn't matter what I'm working on. Music is music. Like I think someone said it earlier. Like I will listen to any kind of music. In my opinion, like I'm mostly a rock guy. Like I grew up in the rock world. I love punk rock, like Blink and Offspring, and are some of my favorite bands. But, I also love fucking hip hop too. It's not my number one, but it is something that I love to work on. I even do some country, like do some pop. Like I did last year I did a track with a Hispanic Latino artist.
Damn.
We were tracking literally like Spanish. Like I didn't even know what he was saying, but I was tracking a sick ass like Latino song, like Latino pop song. And I did country, and I'm working on hip hop with a bunch of different artists, and then mostly rock. But
edge as well, that you're not just doing like one genre of music. You can you're happy to make help on any type of music, so that's going to help the business keep going, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
I love what he said there.
That makes you a beast. That makes you a beast, Van, because I worked with a studio where it was all rock and everything else when I first got back into it, and he couldn't get my sound right because
Didn't
his
understand
ear,
hip hop.
he had to call in other people to come and mix me down because his ear he couldn't track me, and he was good till he wasn't. So I commend you on that, because for someone to be able, like I said, that's why all of music, doesn't matter what music it is. Salute Van, y'all. Like that's real shit.
If it has a drum beat and it has bass and it has some kind of stringed instrument, or a keyboard. Like
It's going to catch
at
your
the
ear.
end of the day, it's the same fucking instruments. They're just produced in a
Yeah,
different way. You know?
that is true.
I approach every mix pretty much the same way. Like I start with the drums, I get the fucking kick drum pumping, I get the snare nice and tight and up front,
Snapping.
and then build
Yeah.
everything around that. And it's always the same. Next, you start with the bass, and you get the bass and the drums, and get that rhythm section and the bass
I
going.
will say, I always find the bass the hardest part.
It
Everything
can
I
be
do.
challenging.
Yep.
And I have
Bass
to
is
salute
always
you,
hard.
man. Your mixing is fucking awesome, and you got that bass on lock. Like
Thank you, bro.
in hip hop is something that's a little more challenging for me is the
I
bass,
find it.
because I don't necessarily have, like, you don't need pump and bass in rock music.
This is the thing, getting
it's a
that
little
balance
bit
just
different.
right. Getting that
Yep.
balance to the bass just right.
Exactly.
I find it hard sometimes.
It can be difficult, especially, not overdoing the subs and not pushing. You still got to get that bass through on small speakers like cell phones.
It's got to come through, but you don't want it going over the top.
There's a point where it's too much, and
Exactly.
exactly. But at the same time, like I said, I approach every mix in a very similar way, just kind of, leaning towards bass more and kick drum more and hip hop versus rock music, and just different samples of different things. There's a different type of sample for hip hop music. There's different like kick and snare samples that you use versus like a rock song, where it's more like clicky kick drum versus like this big boomy like low end, so kind of just depends on the track and the song. But then, like, vocals are vocals. Like, I mix vocals the same every time. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, what kind of music it is, it always mixed the same way.
Right.
And like, so for hip hop tracks, it's like, get that instrumental really, really tight and good, and then layer the vocals in, and not have them too much on top, be part of the mix, like, and then producing those awesome, like, I'm big on huge vocals, like big multiple layers of things, and getting huge like choruses and big sounds, and that's kind of where BNormous came from. Like,
that explains a lot of things.
Enormous, so big.
Some of the mixes I've heard from you with mic stuff recently, what you just said right there, you want everything to come out, and like, that's something I felt when I listened to some of what Mike showed me recently.
Yeah.
I felt that. I see exactly where you're coming from.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate that. We're gonna get Van out of here in a few minutes, and then we're gonna, but before we do, I got Van first. I got two more questions specifically for you, Van. But before we get to the last two questions, Van, you shared a lot with us. We're very thankful for that today. For anybody getting to know you for the first time today, Van, can you go ahead and let them know where you can find, where they could find you on all your socials? Because I will tell you this right now. I'll say this. I traveled 10 hours 2 months ago to work with Van. I hopped on the plane last night for another 10 hours. Well, the plane wasn't 10 hours, but the difference of where we are. I will always, Van is not doing this, even if he's not, I'll pull his ass out of retirement. But I will make the travel time for coming to Colorado, because it's about working with the best, the people who get it, but somebody that gets you and what your message is. And what I love about Van, and I've always loved about Van, I've always experienced that with him in the studio, but I know, and I experienced that through seeing other artists that he works through as well, whether it's through from music, or shooting a video or whatever. Even if you don't get in the lab with Van, you can always send Van your stuff that needs to be mixed down. Van knows his shit, and Van has other resources if he needs to tap in and just perfect it. But this dude is fucking great at what he does. So I wanted to make sure I gave you a plug, Van. But yeah, on that note, go ahead and let everybody know where on social media you are and how they can find you and follow you, my brother.
Yeah, man. BNormousProductions.com, my website. That's where you can find my portfolio and all my music videos. And there's a contact form at the bottom there. But then you can also just find me on all the socials, BNormous Productions, on Facebook, and then Instagram. I got a TikTok as well for BNormous. BNormousPro@gmail.com for my email address. And then just right here on Facebook for my personal page, Van Verhoeven, verified check mark. So, fucking hit me up if you ever want to fucking chat or get into the studio. You can find me anywhere. I'm I'm pretty consistent on the interwebs, as they say. So I try to be pretty social with things. I mean, that's where I find most of my business is reaching out on the socials and making my reels and doing my promotion that way just really brings in more people and getting eyes on the artists I'm working with. I mean, I'm a big guy on helping my artists succeed. So, like if you come work with me and we do a song together, like I'm going to be promoting it for you. I'm going to be doing all the back end work. I'm going to help you with distribution. I'm going to tell you how to market yourself. Like, there's more than just, for me, more than just making the music. Like I want my artists to be successful. Like if they're successful and they make it, like then I make it, like it's a team effort. I'm not
That's what
in
Eldon
it
was
just
talking
for the
about
money,
earlier.
like I'm not just going to be getting a paycheck. Like I want your shit to be huge. Like I want you to have success with it. So anything I can do to help my artists succeed and make it, like that's my ultimate goal. Like, I want to win Grammys, like that's my fucking goals. Like I want huge fucking notoriety. Like I want to be a huge name in the game. Like, so I'm gonna try everything I can to get that fucking huge song out and work with big artists and make it. Like I want big things. I don't just sit and I don't want to be working just with local bands. I want to be working with labels, and I want to be doing bigger things. But you got to start from the ground up. So that starts with working with local artists, and eventually one of my local artists is going to blow up and be huge, and then that will eventually turn into bigger clients and bigger things.
Catapult. Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Now, thank you for sharing that with us, Van. And like I said, my first question for you is going to be a two-part question.
Let's go.
I'm asking it as a two-part because I already know the answer to the first one. And then we're gonna ask you the last question, let you get about your day, which is literally just linking right back up with me when we're done with this, because we got 3 days of hella shit going on.
We got a lot of shit to do today.
Yes, we do. The first question, two-parter. What value do you find for yourself when you're in the studio, but most importantly for the artists coming in when they do pre-production before they come into the studio with you, right? And why do you feel that's important, more specifically for that artist?
Oh, it's the most important thing. Like that's where the song is written. That's how everything's planned out. Like if you don't do pre-production, it turns into a nightmare in the studio. Like we're just constantly like wasting time trying to figure out like what's the BPM, what's the what's the format of the song, like is this chorus like too long, is the song like gonna be a radio hit, like is it 4 minutes, like that's too long, like there's certain things that you have to do before you hit the studio, otherwise the studio session just turns into a nightmare. And I've ran into that too many times in the last year, where we didn't have pre-production, tried to do it before the session, and it just turned into pre-production, and we didn't even barely get anything done. So if you get that done before you hit the studio, you're going to be way more prepared when you step on the mic and when you start plugging your instrument and start playing. Like you've got to get all that stuff figured out before you ever book your session. So I mean, it's literally is the number one, like most important thing to make a hit song is pre-production. You've got to get all that stuff done first. Otherwise, like the magic doesn't just happen in the studio. Like it happens before the studio. And then you bring the fucking fire when you're in the studio, and the song ends up turning out way better. Exactly. That's when you're making all your fine adjustments and tweaks when you're in the studio. Not like you got to get all that pre-production out of the way and the main big ideas on paper and on wax, and then you come in and perfect it in the studio. So most important thing.
No, I appreciate you sharing that.
Cadence. That's why I say that. Cadence.
Those are 3 words that always live in my mind, exactly the way you say it on this. Literally, anytime I'm thinking to myself when I'm prepping a track, like I was doing this week to be in the studio, cadence.
I think that's a lost art in when you're trying to work on your stuff. Like people, like even in hip hop, but because in hip hop, it's style classes. But people forgot about cadence, because if you practice and work on your cadence, that's another word for pre-production. Because if I'm doing my part And when you walk in, we know what we're doing because I've already sent it to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I walk in, I already know. I have a list in my head what I'm doing. Let's get to it. When we get to it, I should have, as soon as I hear the beat,
You're just good to
cadence.
go.
I
Yep.
always say too, cadence like sets you apart from like white boy rapping to like real legit rapping. Like I've helped Mike a lot with his cadence and trying to get that white boy rap out of him and like make it more like good and like the cadence, you know, like it is really important. Like white boy rap is just the same cadence all the time, 100%.
Would you agree with
monotone.
me, Van? Mike's progressing very quickly. Would you agree with me?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
He's come a long way. Yeah,
definitely.
Even with just the last 3 tracks we did, like we really worked hard to blow that thing up and like get good.
We won't talk on Mike on here, but we'll have a side conversation one day. Me, you, and Mike. You could probably get in here too, Alien. With like me and Mike, first time we met, the first time I took him to a studio, first time we all went to New York for a show, first time we went to Jersey and the niggas on the porch wanted to shoot us. But we'll sit and have a conversation because with what you said with white boy rap, I was so much more aggressive when I was younger, so I was very, very brutal with my words. And you we'll talk about it off here, but I'm glad you said that because he has, like, I respect what Mike has done because Mike has made it his own. You know what I'm saying? I've been down with him a long time. This isn't something that he's like, he just woke up today and was like, I want to do this. He always wanted to, but I was really brutal. Like, you wasn't going to be able to sit around me if you wasn't spitting. Like, you couldn't. I would just be like, stop. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about it later. But shout out Wondr Mic, Van. Shout out Van. Like I just had to say it because when you said it, I was like, yep.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You know, it's funny. I'll just speak on that real quick because we will have a conversation on that because I got to ask Van his last question and then we'll get to our last segment. But now, like the confidence, it comes with the confidence. But having people like the 3 people that you see on the screen right now, all right, everybody, for what I'm looking to do and get my message out there, this is the 3-legged stool for me. These 3 fuckers right here. Like I always say to anything I ever do in my life, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'm one of the most intelligent because I know how to utilize the resources around me. And I utilize these 3 resources around me and I listen to their criticisms. I don't get all like, like there was a point in time like Face was just talking about, like I would be scared to spit something in front of him, whether it was something I wrote or it was a freestyle or whatever. Like he's always been my inspiration for 20 plus years when it comes. He's
I
been
appreciate
not the litmus test per se, but the litmus test in the sense of like the validation, I guess you could say, because you're my big brother, bro, and I take this inspiration from you and the other 2 people and other people around me as well. So you know, the confidence that I've gained is nothing short of what Van was talking about. Pre-production before you get into the studio. You know, Discreet, you and I talked about this. You know, 18 minutes a day, the law 100. You got to be consistent. Van talked about it in his progression with BNormous.
Just 18 minutes a day. That's all you got to practice
start
something.
BNormous in 2012 or 13, and literally here we are 10 years later, and it's blown up. It's progress. You can't get to 2024 without going through 2013 to 2023, right? So shout out to you, Van, for staying on that, and I'll finally get to my last question for you, sir, and then we'll let you get about it because we got to get our day going. We always end our segment with, or our show ultimately with a segment, what are you working on this week? And we know a little bit of what you're working on, Van. You know, we got some stuff doing, and I'll touch on that as well. But what are you working with, or what are you working on this week? You know, not only with me, but anybody else that you got some shit lined up with this week, brother.
Yeah, man. Obviously, we're filming a music video today for Wondr Mic. His debut single, Leather to the West.
Oh, that Wondr Mic.
So sick. And then we're tracking more songs tomorrow and Tuesday. We're hitting the studio hard with some more tracks for Wondr Mic. And after that, it's back to the grind with editing video, doing mixing for a band that I tracked yesterday, and then working on the music video for Mike, then mixing the songs. I mean, it's every day I've got like pretty much my calendar is booked every day. I have no days off pretty much, except for I'm taking a couple days off next weekend for my homie. He's coming out from Seattle to chill for the weekend. I haven't seen him in like 10 years. But besides that, I'm literally like booked for the next month straight on projects. Like I'm constantly working on tracks and working on mixing, working on revisions and working on editing videos and you know, like on top of that, promoting all of the stuff that's just come out, and then also grinding, finding new artists, and also, you know, like just have a family and you know, try to hang out with my kids and do other life outside of the studio too. So, you know, I'm a busy man. I'm constantly grinding and working on stuff. So I'm booked for months. Like
That's good news.
Just going, constantly grinding.
Ben, I think that's gonna help you into your time when you feel like it gets slow. It's almost like when you wait tables. You know, you have your peak time, then you have your downtime. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll help you now that just be packed, get it all in. Don't splurge till wintertime.
Right, exactly. I've come to find that out is now that is the probably the time it slows down. I do my vacations then, and, you know, like take my time to chill and not stress out too much, because right now I'm stressed in a different way. Like I'm so busy that I'm like, how do I find the time to work on everything I have going on? Whereas like 3 months ago I was stressing like I don't have any fucking work to do. Like so it's like these crazy ups and downs, but, you know, like I'll take it. Like right now I'm stoked that I'm busier than hell, and I'm loving fucking life. I'm living the fucking dream, doing what I love every single day.
Hey, say that again, Van. What you doing, Van? What you doing?
Living the fucking dream.
Exactly.
Right
That's I tell you
Right,
what,
so
my
leave
dream.
that off.
Like I dreamt
My dream
this
is to
since
be-
I was 16.
Yeah,
So
it is my dream to be in Van's position, doing just that to make the income. I can't wait to get there.
Hey, Van, I want you to do me one favor, if you can. As you get through this day while you're sitting there with my brother, you know what I'm saying, today, tomorrow, I just want you to listen to 2 songs, all right? Three if you like the 2, okay?
all right.
Listen to My Dogs. It's off my last project, the Inner Beast project.
Oh
Right.
my! I listened to that yesterday. I'm not even.
Right.
Yeah, later.
And listen to Change, which is off my Boy album, the last song on the album. If you like both of those, then spin the block on 3-1 and a third. And the reason why, because like something that you said, like when you started out, and this shows you I was listening. When you started out, you said it started out with a guitar, right? But it actually didn't. It started out before a guitar. You know what I'm saying? So the thought was already in head. But I can honestly relate to everything you said, because when it came to music, I listened to everything. You know what I'm saying? I remember in high school having a band at my high school hit me up, because I used to always battle at the parties. Foster kid. I was around all them little rich white kids drinking in really, really expensive houses, fucking up their parents' shit, not getting in trouble. So weird. So weird to me. But I had a band that came to me and was like, you know, hey, we got this beat for you. Can you come by in the morning? Huh? What time? Saturday, 10 o'clock. Bet. I'm in the garage, and my foster brother went with me. Shout out Jude, you know what I'm saying? You can ask him if he ever in here. We went there, jumped in the garage, and they started playing this beat. And I'm talking bass guitar, lead guitar, drums, keyboard. And as they all went in and I heard it, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, so I walked over to the bass guitar and the drummer, and I was like, I'm going to follow y'all. I told everybody else, y'all just do what y'all are doing. And I ended up recording, right? And, you know, this is like 90-something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're in the garage rocking out, though. But I love the fact that what you said when you said, like, you know, hip-hop is your hardest when it comes to what it does. And it may not be the genre that you listen to all the time, but you have a love for all of the music. You know what I'm saying? I respect you for that, because music is all interconnected, bro. People need to stop setting lines to it and just love the music.
Exactly. Frequency is frequency. There's bass. There's, you know, like it sounds, and that's what all it comes down to. So if it moves you emotionally and it moves like your inner like soul, like that's what it's about. You know, about moving your soul, and you know, performing live is another whole thing too. Like everybody being on the same brainwaves at the same time with the same music, like that's a whole nother thing. Like being in a group of hundreds of people in the same brain space, that's a whole nother level too. But yeah, music is music, and frequencies are frequencies, and if it has a beat and it sounds good, then I'm down.
So yeah, just listen to those three, and actually scratch through one of the third. Put on Pulp Fiction because the alien made the beat. And I have that stuff to say on that. You know what I'm saying? So change. You know what I'm saying? Listen to Change My Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and we'll talk about it later. But hey, shout out you, Van. Thank you, thank you, and it's good to finally lay eyes to the man. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
we gotta get on track with. We got to get on track here.
All right. Yes. Maybe. Hey, next time maybe I come to Colorado, Illness. Maybe you'll just have to fly out from Cali to Colorado as well. We'll just get him. Yeah. At the end of the day, really the only track left for the.
I know.
Do you remember the name of the album? Do you remember what the name of the album is officially going to be when it's all said and done?
Fair Weather Friends. Yes.
But the whole album, one track left we need for From the Ashes. I've officially named my album From the Ashes. Y'all get to know more about that down the road.
I didn't know that. Thank you. Look, I get an Easter egg. It's like Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I get an Easter egg.
Exactly. So no, for real, like shout out to Van, and you know, honestly, everybody here, and I think Discreet and Illness could to agree with me. Van has so much knowledge. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the only time that we have Van on here as a special guest. So
yeah,
Van,
hopefully we can get you back in here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Get you back in here. We talk about what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yeah, exactly. Talk about
Sundays
live
are tough for me. Like I'm usually booked in the studio every weekend, so it happens to be Mike's in the studio and he's got a book day right now, so that's why I'm on here right now. Otherwise, I'll be working. You know, so it's tough for me to potentially hit this shit. But if I got an open day at some point, definitely, man, I'd love to be back.
We'll make sure we plan it out in advance. So we appreciate the time, brother.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Hey, enjoy yourselves today. Enjoy yourselves today.
Don't go anywhere yet. Illness and Discreet, don't go anywhere yet because we got to figure out what y'all working on this week.
Yeah, I'm not.
So Van, we're gonna let you go because we're gonna get out of here in a few minutes.
Yeah,
thank
you. Good talking to you, Van. Hey, shout out Van. You know what I'm saying? BNormous. You know what I mean? If that didn't motivate you today, I'm gonna need you to go back and watch this again.
Hell yeah! Hit me up on socials, guys.
Hey,
cheers, man.
Hey, so again, that was a great segment. Went longer than we wanted, but it was well worth it. The knowledge there was fucking dope. So we'll go around the whole.
You can't interrupt when game is being spit, and sometimes things are gonna go over. That's just what it is.
No, you gotta let the preacher speak from the pulpit. Like, come on, man. So, Illness, what are you working on this week, brother?
Okay. I was supposed to hit the lab tomorrow. I think I'm gonna push the lab till next Monday. But I've been working on a lot. It's been, like I said, it was a tough day yesterday, but I still wrote something, so it came out magic. Been writing a lot, even though we all know what I have to go back and do. I'm still writing a lot. hey, facts to the game. Shout out there. But cadence always. Cadence. But today and this week, I'm not even going to hold you. I think I'm going to I got to absorb some of yard work with my Cody. Shout out Heck Gotti, Forever Fresh, because we got to get this yard work put together. So we've been doing a lot of mixing to hear the sounds, to see where we're going to place, you know what I'm saying, and things we're doing. But I think I'm going to take this week just to work on me, you know what I'm saying, spend some time with my kid, my wife, my family, because I feel like I'm missing that right now, you know what I'm saying. Yep. I think that's what's bothering me. I think I'm going to do that. Most definitely, I think I'm going to do that, but I'm still going to be working on music. I always try to work on music no matter what I'm doing, but that's what I'm going to be doing this week, and I'm going to be enjoying the sunshine because hopefully this rain is gone.
Yeah, there you go.
And like I said last week, the West is up still. So that's all I got to say. And that's it for the Silverback.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Discreet, what you got for us? What you working on this week?
Well, this week I've got 3 more beats up on BeatStars, Forever Fresh BeatStars page.
Go check that out. They are cool. Make sure you drop that link in the comment section.
Yes, link in the comment section.
I will, bro. And they are called 1234 in Northern, Double Time, and Honesty. But my EP that I mentioned last week, that's coming out next Sunday. A little 3-piece EP.
Very
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Nice,
cool.
nice.
It's cool. It's cool
The
little EP.
3P.
You're gonna
The
enjoy it.
3P. There you
The
go.
Hey,
3P. It's a 3P.
you need it. Hey, you need to put that up on your page. You know what I'm saying? You know
I
what I mean?
know
If
this
it's
is the
done, you know?
first. This literally now is the first time I've just told anyone the date, and now I'm gonna start posting it.
Nice.
So
Got you.
yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and I meant to say, me and Heck sometime next month. Just be on the lookout. We got a single coming out. Leave Me Alone. You know what I'm saying? Forever Fresh.
Cool.
That's all I got to say on that.
Yep.
You'll get
Big
a date
pause.
later. I meant to say that, Big Foes.
There you go. There you go. Well, Van, again, thank you for joining us. I'll let you know what we're specifically working on here. But Van did drop his BNormous Productions.com. So anybody that wants to get know about, I'll say it this way. Anybody that's been listening, you need to learn more about Van.
Yeah,
And you need to
that
be
part.
working with this dude. So
That
his
part.
website
Definitely.
is in the comment section. Go check that out. You already heard it a little bit from him. What I'm working on this week. Today, we are officially shooting the video for Letter to the West, debut single from myself, the Wondrous One, the Phoenix, Wondr Mic, June 8th. The single and the video are scheduled to come out. I got the single. Today's the 19th, right? It should be available for pre-order. So if anybody's curious, if you want to go pre-order that Letter to the West, you can go ahead and do so because that is up there. It'll officially be available June 8th. And then, I ended up booking an extra day with Van because originally it was going to be 2 days, but now we're here for 3. Good things come in 3. So
Exactly.
we're working on,
Always
we're laying Yellow Brick Road. We're laying what used to be called Alien Landings to We Outside. And you know what? I'm gonna Discreet knows a little bit. Illness, I kind of just gave you a little like you're gonna have to wait and kind of see type of deal. But I said it earlier, and it's worth saying. Like these two individuals are two of the most important people to me in my life, in general. Fuck music.
Apart from
right?
your wife and kids.
Yep, music's something else. But in general, these two people are some of the most important people in my entire motherfucking life. And this album From the Ashes is literally a start to finish from my life at birth to really now and my transformation from day one to day where we are right now. So I'm making sure I'm sending love out to all the people who have been a part of my life, inspiration, just anything. So, real talk, like this track, We Outside, is for the two of you. Straight up.
Bro.
So
I appreciate it, bro.
I'm excited to get that done and out. But there's another 4 tracks we're working on. I bought another beat yesterday.
Okay.
And pretty fire. We'll talk offline on that one. But I got a dope beat from somebody that we all know here that I've been wanting to get a beat from for a minute. So shout out to that dude right there. We'll talk offline. But just work the next 3 days. I'm putting my phone basically on Do Not Disturb. And me and Van, we are gonna create a lot of shit. So we'll talk more next week on that on the show. But let's not forget, we got to plug next week's guest. Who wants to give the surprise guest for next week? Who wants to drop it? Because we already know who it is.
Illness.
Illness. Let them know what it is, bro. Who's the guest next week?
You'll have to wait a couple of days because we're not gonna tell you.
But I'm okay with that. But there's the Easter egg, the foes. Look for the Forever Fresh. That's your hint. Let's see if you can get the pop quiz when it's all said and done. So
hey, shout out you guys. It's always tough in the morning to get up.
4
You know what I'm
5.
saying?
Shout out to 4 5.
Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying? Still the GOAT. Shout out you guys. Shout out We Outside Podcast. Get in here, get to relax. And I got to work today, but as you know, when it comes to hip hop, I love hip hop. I always want to be a part of it. And I salute you guys. Shout out to Alien. Shout out Wondr Mic.
I appreciate it, bro.
As you talking discreet, you go ahead and talk, bro. I'm going to give you a little bird's eye view of Van's studio in here. That way you really know what the dude's working with. But
yeah, what you doing this week, Alien?
Me, like I just said, it's just them 3 beats I put up on BeatStars. I've got my EP coming out, and then next week I'll be working on more beats for BeatStars. That's where a lot of my work's going to go now, on the BeatStars.
Good looking out on that last beat you sent me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, that I pushed the line with that, but it's fire.
Yeah, but no, I got a couple other beats of yours I worked on yesterday, and I think yesterday and the day before. But just shout out that beat. We gonna talk. Just trust me. We gonna talk.
Definitely.
That studio is fire. Is fire. Yo,
that is a place to
be. And you know we was talking about this week in hip hop, right? Who was the main one we was talking about?
DMX.
You mean that guy?
Yes, sir.
There he is,
Yes,
man
sir.
himself. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, X.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, so with that being said, I'm telling you, we outside podcast every week, Sundays. If we can get up for an hour, hour and a half, you can get up for an hour, an hour and a half. Come spend some time with us. Come, let's talk
That's the
some
beautiful
hip-hop.
thing. Yeah, we have a general timeline, but like if we're talking good shit, we're just gonna keep talking good shit
Listen,
because
come talk
it's
some
for the
hip-hop.
culture always. It's for the
Come
culture.
bullshit with
Exactly.
us. Talk shit with us. All music, all hip-hop, all the time. We gonna keep it a buck 9. Check us. Big foes.
We
Get out of
outside.
here. I
CBS.
gotta go shoot a video. We gotta go shoot a video
Yeah.
for
We
Leonard Sweat.
outside.
We're
I
getting
need
the
a
fuck out
piss.
of here. Y'all have a good day. I'll get up with y'all
Salute.
later.
Cheers, bro.